Hey guys, finally watched Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is his vision of what he wanted the movie to be. If you don't know the story behind it, I'm gonna quickly explain. While filming Justice League, Zack Snyder's daughter unfortunately passed away due to suicide. He had to leave the project, and Josh Whedon from Marvel's Avengers stepped in to direct and basically left us a giant shit show that was mainly, I blame, mainly on Warner Brothers and Josh Whedon's behalf. So, due to fans demanding to see Snyder's vision, Warner Brothers has complied and allowed Zack Snyder to give us his rendition of the movie he wanted to create that would be exclusively on HBO Max. And I want to say right off the bat, this movie is fucking awesome. Any doubts I had with Zack Snyder's vision of Justice League is completely out the window now. I am glad he did it. It is a phenomenal movie. I'll explain why I love it and why I think this is a superior version and why it's probably, to me, easily one of the best DCEU films, probably the second best they've ever done. Now, if you don't like Zack Snyder's style of directing, which will be a lot of slow motion, a lot of music that sort of fits the scene but not really type of feel, a lot of like washed out colors, you're not going to like Zack Snyder's Justice League. You're not. This is a very much a Zack Snyder still film. It feels like Zack Snyder made it. But that's what I love about it. After watching Josh Whedon's, it just didn't feel right. It felt like two movies colliding into one. And even still, the Josh Whedon bits, the ones that they removed, were very out of place and didn't feel right and were very cringy. However, with the Zack Snyder scene still in here and with the new scenes he filmed, it feels directly in place, it feels right at home, and it feels more complete. Zack Snyder filmed, I think, close to 2 or 2.5 hours worth of new scenes for this movie. And with this being 4 hours long, this movie feels more complete. It has more of a complete story. They go into things more in detail, which explains it beautifully. And they finally address the issue of actually giving the heroes a proper backstory, not backstory, but giving them more screen time. The Flash and Cyborg have way more to do in this movie. They are not pushed to the side as much, especially Cyborg. Cyborg got dealt the shorthand in Josh Whedon's, Justice League. However, I feel like in this movie, he got so much more screen time, and he was actually became one of my favorite characters in the movie. You felt sympathetic towards him with what happens to him in the film. It's all done extremely well. And that's not the only thing this movie does right. They explain the invasion more. They do redesigns to the CGI, which look way better than what it did in Josh Whedon's version. This actually looks really good. And especially, and unfortunately, you won't be able to see this movie in theaters. I would highly recommend you guys get HBO Max to watch this, because if you don't watch it, I feel like you are missing out. And the reshoot, the new scenes are so good. They are so well done. They changed characters completely from what they were in the Whedon version. For instance, they made Batman more like Batman. They did a lot of good scenes with Superman. Again, Cyborg has some great, fantastic scenes in this movie. Fantastic. Barry, the Flash, doesn't feel as cringy as he did in the Whedon version, which is a major step up for me, because I felt like the Flash was to me really fucking cringy in the Whedon version. Wonder Woman is purely badass, like she was in the comics. She is a fucking badass. And Aquaman is just like how he always was. He's basically the same as he was in the Whedon version and in his own standalone movie. But that's not really bad. There are new scenes with him in it that are pretty fucking awesome. And they bring in there is some surprise cameos in this movie I never would have expected. When I saw them happening on screen, it blew my mind. I was like, holy fucking shit, are you kidding me? I'm not going to spoil the secret cameos. I will say the Joker one, because it's already well known, that's been shown off in like teasers. But the secret ones they have in here are so amazing. It makes me want them to continue the Snyderverse so much. And that's saying a lot, because I never even really cared about Snyderverse that much. I liked Man of Steel. I thought it was an okay movie. Batman v Superman felt like, felt very rushed. The extended cut of the movie helped the problems a little bit. Um, and of course, the Whedon Justice League felt awful. But it says a lot for one movie to bring me back into one thing that continues the Snyderverse says a lot. This movie got me invested in a universe that I never even gave a fuck about until now. That is insane for one movie to do. For instance, there's a scene that's very reminiscent to me of like Batman Last Night on Earth. And this is the scene with the Joker. Now, they brought back Jared Leto, and I had my apprehensions because we all know how Jared Leto did in Suicide Squad. No one liked him. He was cringe. He was awful. But somehow, Zack Snyder made me like Jared Leto as Joker. There is an awesome scene of Batman and Joker having a conversation, and it's so well done. It is so perfectly done. It is honestly probably one of the best scenes in the entire film is this Joker and Batman exchange. And Jared Leto did a good job. I can't believe I'm saying this. Jared Leto did a good job as Joker. Of course, he still has the laugh to him, but his dialogue was not cringy. It wasn't cringy. He didn't look cringy. He looked like he belonged in the Snyder universe. His dialogue was really well done and had an impact. Like, what he was saying, I was like, holy shit. Holy fucking shit. Honestly, I was doing that throughout most of the movie. The movie is nonstop action with great scenes of them talking as a team, them bonding as a team, getting to see, like, more of Cyborg's story, which was handled excellently. Barry's change in his story around a bit, was done excellently. I loved his new story change. I can't gush about this movie enough. I honestly don't think there's really a negative for me. The 4-hour runtime doesn't feel like a 4-hour runtime. The movie is paced so well. And the way HBO Max has handled this is putting chapter or part, if you want to call it, where you can pause it at any time, take a break, go get something to drink, come back, watch the movie again or get something to eat, or leave it off for the next day. It's not like it's divided into parts. Now, you can watch the whole thing as whole, but once you see, like, a scene end, and it'll, like, I think it's like every 30 minutes to an hour, I think it's like mainly every 30 minutes, it'll say part this. It'll say part 1, part 2, part 3. You can pause at those moments and go get a snack or go get something to drink, which is what I did. And the movie didn't feel 4 hours. Honestly, it felt like 2.5 hours in my opinion. It went by so well. I was hooked. The pacing was done excellently. The pacing was so well done. And that's something really hard to nail with something that's 4 hours long. Because you got to keep your audience invested for 4 fucking hours. And Zack Snyder was able to do that. I would honestly put this, if you guys know, I'm honestly kind of a fan of Zack Snyder. I do think he's a good director. He's made blunders, sure, but like movies like The Watchmen, Dawn of the Dead, Man of Steel, 300, I feel like he's done a great job of. And I honestly, without a shadow of doubt, can say I think this is his second best film in my opinion. It's honestly really close to The Watchmen, which is my favorite film of his. This is so close. This is my second favorite film by Zack Snyder. And this is honestly going probably to be in my top 5 DC films of all time. Ranking right up there with like The Watchmen, The Dark Knight, Joker. It's that fucking good to me. It's really well done. I cannot just gush about this movie enough. If you have an HBO Max subscription and you haven't watched this movie yet, I would highly suggest you watch this movie. Take the time to watch it, find a day off, watch this movie. As for our rating, hold on, I haven't even gotten to the acting yet. I want to get to the rating. The acting's great. All the new scenes with the actors are really well done. They don't feel out of place anymore. They don't feel like they feel like they were filmed at that time. It feels very natural, so You know, all the acting is great in my opinion. Of course, Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor is still here, but he's there for like 2 scenes, and one of the scenes he doesn't even talk. The other one he talks for like a little bit to a mystery cameo that I'm not gonna spoil. But the new additions are great. The story was handled well. So my verdict for Zack Snyder's Justice League is a shocking 10 out of 10 for me. Yes, maybe my rating will change, but that's how I feel right now. This is a excellent, excellent, excellent movie. Congratulations to Zack Snyder. I at the end of the movie, I noticed he put for your daughter, and you know you did a good job, and congrats for you finally getting to put your vision out there for Justice League. It was really well done, really worth the wait, and I really am so excited to see if DC will ever continue the Snyderverse or not, because the way this movie ended, it leaves a lot of doors open for a lot of potential films and opportunities for the Snyderverse. So yeah, go check the movie out. I loved it. Uh, Please tell me what you guys thought of the movie down below, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Later.